Adaptability. Adaptability is another factor when we're talking about making sure you have the power of leverage in these sectors. So adaptability refers to the ability of an agency, to adjust to changing market conditions. The best example I will be able to give you when we're talking about making sure you're able to adjust to changes is COVID. COVID happened to me as soon as I got certified. And different agencies around me, I saw day programs and different agencies closing down all around me, and I just got certified. So I'm just opening up. And I could have taken that and said, like, oh, well, now it's not a good time for me to open up my agency because it's COVID and I see all these long standing agencies are closing. So I'm not going to do it. It could have caused fear in me. However, it did not because I was already certified in all these different sectors. So I looked at what was happening with COVID. When COVID happened, the day program didn't seem to be a good idea to start with because they had limited the amount of people who could be in the day program after opening it back up. So for a while, people weren't even coming to the day program because we wasn't sure about COVID. People needed to be 6 feet away from each other and different things like that was happening. People were scared. They didn't know how serious COVID was. People was dying from COVID. So it didn't seem like a good idea for people to come out into the community for day programming. So day program was not a good idea at that time. However, home care rates increased drastically. The rates for home care increased because more people were staying at home due to COVID instead of going to the day programs. And I happened to be certified in both. So I was able to pivot my staff that I was going to use for the day program, my resources that I was going to be using for the day program, I pivoted my focus to home care. And this is where my home care business was able to grow drastically during the time of COVID. A huge fact that is a statistic well known is that millionaires are created during times as these, during recessions, during times like that, times like COVID. A lot of millionaires was created during COVID. Why is that? Why is that? Think about that. And all I can think about is my agency during COVID, it grew drastically. I saw my first million. And as a new agency owner, that was huge. I didn't even think that I would get 6 figures, let alone multiple millions. So it's good to be leveraged in the beginning because you don't know what is going to happen after you're certified. I happen to be certified in all 5 sectors, so I was able to pivot. However, if I had only been certified in adult day program, that would have hit me hard. Yes, I would have been able to go back on an application and apply for multiple services. However, there's still a period of getting certified, just like you get certified initially. You'll have to go back on and apply, upload your required documents, and wait to be approved before you can start doing those services. So, and you also have to pay again. If you complete your application first and then add on additional services, you're going to have to pay every time you add on additional services. So why not do that ahead of time? Why not already make sure you're certified in all these different sectors so that you can start off strong. But let's keep going. Sustainability. Sustainability Sustainability refers to meeting present needs with future retention in mind. So yes, you're able to meet the present need because there's a present demand. There's something that the client needs right now, but there's going to be something that adds on to that in the future. And you're making sure that you're a one-stop shop. You're providing everything that you believe that your client is going to need up front. You're positioned to be able to offer that to your client. A one-stop shop. A one-stop shop does two things. One, it speaks to client acquisition, helping you get clients, and secondly, client retention. So let's start with client acquisition. If I come, just like what we said, if I come to your day program and I know that I need transportation, I love your day program, I love the different things that you offer. Now I'm worried about, oh, gee, how am I going to get here? If you're able to tell me you have transportation as well, I don't have to go search no further. I know that this is a day program for me, and I'm able to make that decision right then because I know you have both of the things that I need. You have the day program that I want to come to, and you can offer me the transportation to get there. So you have both things that I need. So I'm excited to do so because I see that you have exactly what I need for me to make a decision. That's client acquisition. Second, we said client retention, keeping your clients. If I know that your agency provides me home care, adult day, transportation, all these different things, I'm less likely to leave, even if there's a problem. If there's a problem, I'm more likely to come to you and ask for it to be resolved because it's going to be a huge headache trying to find another home care agency, another day program, another transportation agency, and I'd rather just work things out with you. So yes, absolutely. You want to make sure you're addressing the concerns of the consumers if there's something that you need to fix, but you're setting yourself up to make sure you keep your clients, client retention. You're setting yourself up to make sure that you're positioned to keep clients by offering them a one-stop shop. Scalability. Scalability is the capacity to grow and expand services without compromising quality. Scalability, scalability, positioning yourself to take on more of the market share at any time. This is allowing you to grow. If you position yourself to take on more of the market share at any time, you're going to be positioned to increase your revenue. No matter what, no matter COVID happened, and I still was positioned to increase my revenue. When other people was closing because they thought it was going to be a loss of revenue, I was able to just pivot and see how this could still increase my revenue. Another example I can give you is during this time, as you're growing your agency, you are building relationship with different support administrators and county board members and different things like that. So they're learning about your agency. When other agencies close, they need somewhere for these individuals to go. I can tell you for me, I received an email from a county representative asking me if I could take on multiple clients at once because the agency was closing down. And I was positioned to do so. I was already certified in what they needed. The agency that closed down was offering adult day programs to these individuals, as well as home care to these individuals, and HPC transportation, non-medical transportation. And I happened to be certified in all these areas. So I was able to say, yes, I can support these clients. Yes, I could take on multiple clients because not only was I certified in these areas, but I already had all these different areas of how I was going to carry these different sectors out. I already had it planned out. So I didn't plan it based off of them calling me and saying, oh, are you going to be able to take these clients? Think about it. If I wasn't certified in those different areas, I would have had to apply to the board, and they needed somebody quickly. This agency was closing. They needed somebody to take on these clients immediately. A lot of these clients needed 24/7 home care. And this is where I received a huge number of 24/7 clients as a new agency owner at once. because I was already positioned to take them on. I already had a system of how I was going to do it. And at that time, I only had drop in clients. But because I was already well versed in what I was going to do for my home care sector, I was able to communicate that to them when I got the call and able to carry out the services. If I hadn't been certified in the different areas and I tried to go on and hurry up and get certified, it wouldn't have worked out because I would have needed to add on the services by completing the application and wait till it was approved. They would have found another agency by then. So I was positioned to take on more of the market share because I was already certified in these different areas. And perishability. So the best way for me to break down imperishability is prevention. Prevention. This is referring to how your agency is going to endure different things that happen, and you're positioning your agency to be able to do that by the power of leveraging different sectors. So let me explain something that happened during my agency. There was this, I guess I can say, culture after COVID, and I'm sure a lot of you may have noticed as well. But I'm talking about after COVID. Like COVID is not completely gone, but I mean after the harsh um realities of COVID and without all the regulations and stuff was in place, we started getting vaccines and stuff. So this is after all this happened, and it was kind of, it died down, and more people were living through COVID and able to prevent COVID and different things like that. There was this spirit of um, a different type of work culture. People wanted to either do remote work, or a lot of entrepreneurs were created during this time. So less people wanted to actually come out and staff other agencies. They really wanted to either work at home. Work at home jobs grew huge after the pandemic. And then also a lot of entrepreneurs were made, and also a lot of people just weren't working no more. There was a lot of supplements given, financial supplements given during COVID. So people were just living off of that. And a lot of people didn't want to go to work. And I found myself losing great staff during this time. I mean, they were dropping like flies, just quitting and giving resignations um back to back to back. I had to make a decision. I was down to like maybe two staff, and I had grew my agency. I had a lot of clients, and my agency was booming. My agency was booming during this time, and I needed the staff to be able to carry out the demand that I had for the clients, but the staff were dropping. I had to make a decision. I had to see what could I provide with less staff? What made the most sense? I already had these 24/7 clients, and I knew I needed to fill the homes of the 24/7 clients. But then also I had transportation. Transportation at that time was probably my hugest sector. I had probably about 35 to 40 transportation clients. I had to drop 25 of those clients. I had to drop 25 of those transportation clients, and I made the money up through the home care rates increase. But I also chose which ones I kept based off of if they had more sectors involved with me. So if I provided their transportation and their day program, I kept those individuals. But if I was just a transportation provider, I had to make a decision to let those individuals go. It hurt. It hurted me as an agency provider because I loved the fact that I was able to serve so many clients, but I didn't have the staff to do so. And this was happening around different agencies. These was like a known problem that was occurring. However, I didn't want to close my door, so I needed to sit down and I needed to see what made the most sense. And because I was already certified in multiple sectors, I was able to increase my move the staff that I did have left and position them to be able to do the transportation and the day program for the individuals who had both. And then I took the other staff that was left over and moved them to the home. I was able to do this because, like I said, I was certified in multiple sectors. I had to let go of a lot of the transportation clients, but I didn't miss the revenue because I was able to pivot. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about making sure an agency is imperishable, making sure you have a prevention plan in place by knowing that you are ready for anything by leveraging the power of being certified in multiple sectors. I hope this helped you in identifying the sectors that you want to become certified in and understand the reason and a benefit of doing so. Thank you.